Hi, Anthony here from Best in the West, West Coast Custom Concrete. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is another spectacular floating steps with lights. This is a job in Fountain Valley, California, which is right next to Huntington Beach, California. This job was about 9 minutes from my house. So what I'm doing here is we're going to demo it out today and set it up. The thing with floating steps is you can't just run through it and set it all up and pour it. You have to do every other step. And here's a perfect example of having the right equipment. I could have got my bigger case in here, but I just haul this tractor around, this skid steer, because it's so much smaller. And I could do anything with this, what anyone does with any size, except load a 10 wheeler unless I make a ramp. But to utilize this and know how to use it is an absolute weapon and will save you so much money and labor, people hand loading. I can do all this by myself. I used to do it every day by myself. I didn't even have anyone working with me when I would go and demo. I would actually show up with this S70 and they'd be like, "You got to be kidding me. What you're not going to demo that in this little thing?" And I'd say, "Oh no. I got another crew coming. They're sitting on another job." And I'd get halfway through and they're like, "Holy crap, there's not another crew coming, is there?" And I'm like, "Nope, you're looking at them." And they're like, "Oh, it's cool." But I mean, if you get good, you could, the sky's the limit is how good you can get on this stuff. And having the right employees is the biggest key to your business. Because if you get too many people, there's so many people, and I was a victim of it also, was having so many people, you're literally maybe breaking even creating a job for somebody. You don't even know if you're making money off of them because you're so busy running the job, getting the material, collecting the money, scheduling the people, scheduling the concrete. There's a lot to it. That's why I'm a firm believer with the stress on your body and mind doing this kind of stuff. Every 2 months, you should schedule your living to go with how much money you make, where every couple months you could take a week. I would say 2 weeks off and then schedule stuff for after where you gangbuster it again for another 2 weeks. That's how you stay sharp. I mean, working for somebody and punching a clock is just a trap. It's you got to be an independent thinker. And supreme confidence helps with that. And a lot of people seem to have, not a lot, but a few people seem to have a problem with me because my confidence is unbelievable. But those are people that are lacking in that area. You can tell right away. It's all personality, confidence, skill. And then you back up what you're saying. And everyone's like, they don't have a problem with you in California if you back up what you're saying. You know, you don't have to act like you're Joe Humble and Mr. Christian and this and that. You just be who you are and you have great intentions and you do the best job you can possibly do. When I bid this job and I laid it out when I sold the job, she had it much smaller. And then when I laid it out, I'm like, we got all this room here. So I just made it a grand entrance and I didn't charge anymore because she hired me and I was super glad to get the job and be there. And the way I run it at a 50% profit, it's no big deal. It's just collateral and it's future work and it's just good intentions all the way around. And she said, "Is the price going to change?" And I'm like, "Nope. Here's pour day on the first set of steps, and your employees are going to make or break you. There's no doubt about that. You can judge the material, the concrete, the forms and the rebar and all that. You can gauge that, but labor will kill you because it's hard to gauge. Like if you get guys out here where you think it's 2 days with three guys, and they come back another day, that's $1,200. That's a grand minimum. That's a big, on a $20,000 job. That's 10% of your money of your profit. I'm at a 50%, so you got to be careful. And it's so easy to tell by watching people. You just don't act like you're watching them. And if they're emotional vampires, they're always talking about their problems. There's ways you can talk to people, and it's like an open book. You start telling them your problems and watch them run away from you, and you know they're an emotional vampire. There's so many people like that and their problems and this and that. It's like, dude, I don't even, it's good to have compassion and empathy for people and help people, but you don't want to help dirtbags out or people that are just straight delusional liars. And there's so many people like that in business. I'm speaking of it because my crew is so top of the line. I always build them up. I always tell the truth, say this, give them credit. This is the best crew you're ever going to see. And then I just prove it and back it up time and time and time and time again. You know, people say I say this or I say that. And I say, "Oh, really? Put a link up here with a timestamp of when I said that." And nobody can do it. I can also say, put the work up against mine and nobody will do it. So at some point, you just move on with what you're doing and you market yourself. So I've marketed myself for success at what I do, and you can tell when you love what you do. It's very easy. This comes very easy for me. I'm very good at basically everything I do because I pay attention and I watch and I listen. I don't talk that much when I'm watching. I'll ask certain key questions, but I don't show my cards and let people think that I'm getting all this information out of them, and I get what I want out of it. And when people ask me, I'm more than for, willing to tell them the right information. I never mislead anybody. And if I see somebody doing something that's screwing them or they're going to buy the wrong equipment, I'll tell them. And you could take my opinion for what it is, but go through my playbook, go through my videos and look at the stuff I do. I put stuff on here that no one can do, and anything they do in these other states, I mean, is beyond elementary. Anybody out here could do it. But I get there's not a talent pool in other states like there is here. This place is the standard of if you want to see the top work and crews how they work. And you take it to for whatever it's worth, and you take it to where you are and better yourself. If I watch somebody out here that I pick something up and I'm like, damn, these guys are good, I'm going to watch them. I don't think I'm the best at everything, and you can't learn. That's when you're going to have a problem and it's going to bite you. You always got to be willing to learn. You always got to, when people do a good job, you have to tell them. It's just part of being a good person, and you just become that. When you make more money, you tell the guys, it doesn't matter what the standard is or what everyone's paying. It's what your overhead is, what your living costs to bid your job. I mean, everyone's not equal. Everyone has, some people have truck payments, they have Bobcat payments, they have this payment, their wife payment, house payment, and some people don't. So how can you say that they're undercutting it? But there's a standard everyone should be at price wise and not go under that. But some people on here, not in California, but I've noticed on some of these videos that do this crap work, they'll bid jobs just to get a YouTube video. They don't even care. And that just doesn't make sense to me. This is what I do. I want to be the best at it. And you're getting the best contractor you're going to get with the highest end crew. And I want to be paid for it. And you pay for what you get. A lot of people who don't know concrete don't understand. It's a decor out here. There's landscape architects making drawings that I've seen 1,000 times. That's how I've gotten most of ideas and put them all together in my own style. It's not directly copying all the architects. I do it a little bit different in my own spin on it. But if I wouldn't have seen their drawings, I wouldn't have known. But I worked in Newport Coast for a decade. In the average house up there in Emerald Bay and all the coves I worked in is 17, 20 million for the average house. Here's Milton Jr. here. He started with me as a laborer. And so did his dad, senior. And you can see the quality. I mean, I wouldn't have nothing but the best guys on the finish and setup days. So you already know, you can assume if they're out here with me, it's going to be the highest job. There's no flaws. It's flawless. And I come back. I'll come back a month later. I'll come back when the landscaping's done. I'll zoom on every square inch. So nobody can deny that. And this curb wasn't in part of the original design. She just wanted a mow curb with like an S on it to separate the grass from the planter in the front, like 3/4 grass on the sidewalk and then a quarter planter. But I tied this into it. You'll see the mow curb I tied into this where there's an arbitrary line. This is the entryway. Boom. All your eyes go on this $25,000 entryway. To the left is the grass. And above that, you'll see the second pour. I do the mow curb across the grass. But that curb wasn't in the bid. I just put it in there because I'm like, hey, let's put a curb here to follow this mow curb so it doesn't look weird and just die off and end halfway in the grass. So I brought it all the way down. It looks crazy. You see, I come back with the lights on. And I told her she's going to put grass, black rock, the shiny black rock. When this is all landscape, I'm going to come back and film it at night with the lights on to give a lot of people ideas of a killer design. Like when you get me, you get the best designer and work. I pride myself in being good at whatever I do. And I'll put the time in. You don't get to be that good of a concrete pumper, demo guy, bidding the way I do, material takeoffs, unless you've paid attention. I don't talk much. Like I don't talk much business with people outside of YouTube. In my regular life, I basically never do. I don't hang out with anyone in concrete. I don't call people and talk about concrete. I get a crap load of calls in. Obviously, they're watching this and they're just saying, I'm watching your videos. I've never seen work at this level. It's a lot of states and it's a lot of California. It's just a lot of people in general. We have the right tools. We got to face it. And for all the young guys starting on here, everyone I hear says, I wish I would have started a year ago. I wish I would have started this time. Well, today's the youngest you're going to be if you start now. So start it now. There's never, the only risk is if you have a wife and kids. It's big. I didn't when I started. So for me, I had nothing to lose. I just had to keep on my truck insurance, keep my truck maintained, my pump, and a cell phone. But if you have a wife and kids and house payment, it would be very stressful because it took me a couple of years to put it together. So unless you got a big backing, or you can just buy something outright with a low investment, either a pump or a little bobcat and trailer, and you already have a truck, because you're never going to lose money on the equipment, on the dump trailer or the skid steer or the breaker. Never. You'll make money off that. Even if you make a couple grand, it wasn't a loss. Not saying that you would fail, because if you keep going, you don't fail. Just if you put down your guns and say that's it, then you failed. But if you keep going, you're going to succeed. You're going to persevere no matter what you do if you keep going. And you got to, like, the main key is the people you're around. Everybody who's working, not these guys I have now, but prior to this, these finishers I had or laborers, they're trying to tell you how to run a business and they're working for you. And nobody in the world would buy what they're selling. They're almost like armchair quarterbacks. And people like that are pariahs. Get them out of your business. Right when a guy starts saying that to me, they're already gone. But I never show my cards. I just diplomatically, because people are vindictive, people like that, you know? Emotional vampires are just blame everybody but themselves. I failed. I went out of business basically for 5 years. I was homeless. I lived in a field. I chugged booze and took prescription drugs and stuff like that, but I didn't blame anyone. And I never asked for anything either because I'm a stand up guy. I would never do that. I never burdened anyone. I never told them my wife did this or that. I knew what happened. It was a spiritual warfare. I knew without a doubt, it was a learning lesson. So I just rode with it, but I had no idea it was going to go to the depths it went. And I just saw no end in sight. It was insane. I had overwhelming IRS debt, child support debt. I had nowhere to live. But when I lost all my stuff, I still had one pump. I kept one pump, the one I never used, the one I have now that you guys see. And then the case and that old breaker I had and a piece of crap white trailer, because when I had to get rid of all this stuff, everyone wanted the other Carson trailer I had. I had to keep one, but I needed more money to survive, to restart this business over. And once I started YouTube and everything, the first 20 videos at least, I think I still lived in that field, showered at the Y. But you just have to have a good attitude, because it really doesn't matter, does it? What you have. It's just stuff. Like, people are so just live their whole life by numbers. I got this many subscribers. I got this truck, this boat. That's just stuff. My freedom is the most important thing, to do what I want to. I can work for 3 months, a month, a week, and then take 2 months off, a month, whatever. If someone says to me, you want to go to Hawaii for 10 days? I just say, if I want to, yeah, let's go. But if I got work, I'll line it up. And if you're good and you're at the level I'm at and you're marketing yourself respectively the way I have, people call me every day, tell me, your videos are amazing. Your work's amazing. The way you've marketed yourself is amazing. I've had some of the richest people tell me on jobs, keep doing what you're doing. Don't listen to anybody else, out of the blue, from them watching me. They're trying to throw you off. They don't like your confidence. But I already knew this, but it's just reaffirming. Here's the mow curb that Donata, the homeowner, shout out to her, that she originally had I painted on the ground that we're going to put in. It kind of S's and it separates the grass. And then past, that's Jefferson and that's his Uncle Ray. And that's Milton's brother. And that planter up there, it separates. And I just tied it into the curb. So we ended up getting, we didn't have much distance and height, but we ended up getting 4 floaters out of this. which is I always like to get four. I'd like to get 12 or 15 on one with a landing and wedding cake it, but the elevations are tough to get a job. I mean, I came across some, but it's like, 45, 50 grand for the more for the steps like that. But they're at mansion, so I'll land one coming up. There's a planner she came up with, the homeowner, which was an awesome idea to break it up. Here I am. There's my boy Victor. He does all my lighting for me. Greg Johnson bringing the mud. The mud lately has been so good. I can't remember when it was this good. It's just like it's like an ice cream machine or something. This stuff is perfect. You can pump it stiff. You can pump it wet. 3,500 psi. I'm using a city mix with microfiber. I was gonna wash this concrete, but I have a big pool deck that's the hardest degree of difficulty. It's over two loads, and you can't get any equipment in there. The air conditioner's in the way. And this is how you do it. You don't need four guys wheeling it up, shoveling it in there. You just pump it in there slow. I just slow down the pump and just barely put it in there. And Victor's holding the lights. He's using a 3/4 inch stake is the perfect distance from the end where you want it placed. And if you guys get these lights and you do lighting underneath, make sure you put a dimmer on it. Because it seems to me, in my opinion, 70% of the light is the perfect lighting. At 100%, it's like Vegas. It's like a disco or something. It's too bright for me personally, but it's a matter of my opinion. I just give my professional opinion. You can take it for whatever. If you like them brighter, put them brighter. And there's Milton Sr. there. He started with me as a laborer also. See the break? I mean, just look at the work. Look at the skill level in this. Concrete's not concrete. A Ferrari is just a car, get you A to B, right? But so is a Volkswagen. It just depends what quality you like and how you like to ride. Some people like to ride in style. And if you want to ride in style, then you hire West Coast Custom Concrete and you're going to get it knocked out of the park every single time. We're 3 videos back, Ladybug, but the weather and living in California, YouTube is an awesomest tool for every business, social media. But out here, it's so beautiful out here all the time. It's hard. It's a lot of work editing. So we're bike riding and I'm looking at jobs and they want to go in a week. So we keep pushing stuff back here and there. But we're going to get back on it. Ladybug's got a couple of the edit. But the problem is some of these are redundant that I've already done 5 or 6 times, so I don't want to show it. A couple of them I'm not going to post. I'll just cut them up as shorts or whatever. There's Junior with me. There's that S-Mo curb. So when they put the new landscaping in, it's going to be a little bit lower so you can edge or weedy, up against the curb. All new grass where Milton's at. I went back and filmed it at night, and unfortunately, the painters were coming the next day, so they put plastic over some of the steps where they're going to paint. You guys will see with the lights. That's basically what I wanted to show you. You guys already know the work quality is an A+, so I wanted to show the lights. And do the right thing. Put yourself around the right people, and it's not overnight. It wasn't for me. I went through so many dummies, it was insane. They knew everything but how to have somebody take them serious and get their own work. So just because they've been doing it for 20 years and you've been doing it for 3, just ask them about the work, not business, because they'd be working for themselves. You know what I mean? And it's not for everybody. That's not knocking anyone. Some people like that position of doing what they're doing, but the ones that are giving advice and complaining, they don't like their job. And I pumped for 20 years, so I saw so many finishers like that. They just hated doing it, all hung over or whatever. So get yourself around the right people and you'll be successful. And then treat people right. And when you start making more money, pay them more. Everybody goes up. This work is exquisite. I love looking at it when I come back, and I always walk everything we do, and it's so hard to find flaws in it, even with my eye and the way I see stuff. I've looked at so much concrete in my life, it's crazy, and I could pick it apart like what most people won't see. So you got to strip it the same day and face everything. It's all a timing issue. But we leave the 4x4 in overnight, so the ledge is not going to fall off. But you don't want to You don't want to pull that front board early because then it'll sag on you. But see, we leave the 2x4 in there. That's a slither because that's the second pour, and we overlap it on top of the first pour. There's the detail and stuff like that that you see out of West Coast. I mean, look where Milton's at. That was just poured a couple days ago. So we pour one day, we come back the next day, strip it, set up the other steps, every other that we didn't pour, and then we pour them. I made this a lot bigger entrance, and I added the curb. Same price, just because I know it's going to look so much better. And the one where Jonathan's at in the corner over there, I didn't float that because it just steps down into a little walkway there, and no one can ever see it. There's a wall there. And we broom and face everything that's going to be exposed. And you can see that corner right where Milton's at. The elevation of the grade of the driveway, you'll be able to see lights to right there, and then the rest will be the gravel level with the driveway and the top of the step. And then that square is going to be grass, I believe. No, I shoot one way or the other, either that way or the other way. Either the strip, yeah, that's grass, and that strip is the black shiny rock, which is an amazing look. But that stuff's super expensive. I was demoing the next day at an RV ramp I did. That'll be the next video, and Javier came and stripped this, so I don't have video of it. We were at the other job. But stay around the right people. You get around the wrong people, and it looks like, people understand that I know you're a nice guy, but these people or whoever you're using here are your workers. So it's the same reflection. It's just like, what kind of dad are you? It's a reflection of your kids. Your kids are a reflection of you. Your wife. I look at everything, what kind of people I'm dealing with. And everyone on this job is that I use out here, and it's hard to come by. But the talent pool in Southern California is just, people in other states can't understand it till they watch this. They see me and they say, we don't have talent like that around here, but it's tough. I didn't invent this process. So we got to edge all the way around this because those forms are getting pulled, and that's going to be a planter. The pull porch was going to come out to the garage, one big porch with a floater, but we had an elevation up enough to raise it, make a floater there, step down, then float this one. So we got 4 out of it because everybody wants more floating steps and more lights. They got to pay a little bit more for the lights, but I'll do another floater for them for what I bid it at if it ends up being that way. Look at that. Perfect. And see where I tied it into the curb? You got to have this upper step tool to get the corners right. Bang, and you got to get in there and broom it. Some of these guys will just broom it long ways because they can't get in there. They're not talented enough. But when I see that detail, it just, no concrete guy should do it that way. You got to do it correctly. No matter what you do, what it takes. You got to learn some way. And these guys are, they got horsepower. We can blow through this stuff. Demo is so easy. I go on lives and I show it live, which, like I said, you're not going to see anyone doing lives on their demo or pouring or nothing. Guarantee you. I mean, look how sweet this job is. Bang. And we got the lights coming up. If you guys want to see the top work, just keep watching West Coast. We don't have a soap opera. We don't have a bagging on people, on my crew. It's straight concrete. If you're into concrete and you're looking for a business, you're on the right channel. Bam. Ladybug and I came back. There it is. There they have plastic on the second and third step there because they're going to paint the next day. It's all curing and bleaching out. They put plastic on that. I basically wanted to show the lights, the planter stripped, and everything stripped out. You guys get the idea. There it is right there. Another 10 out of 10. Everyone who tunes into the lives, to the shorts, I appreciate everyone, the long form videos. Check out the sweepstakes from Concrete Tools Direct. It's the best concrete tool company you're going to buy from. When you have the guaranteed lowest prices, shipping 3 to 5 days, why wouldn't you buy from them? Why would you pay more for the same stuff? Leave a comment in the bottom and I'll answer whatever questions I can. that are viable to what I'm doing and pertains to concrete. There you go there. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll be having some more lives coming up and different stuff. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you get anything out of it, press like, whatever you want to do. You're not obligated to anything. Look at that. Right, leave a comment what you guys think of that layout. Bam, another 10 out of 10 at Huntington Beach, West Coast Custom Concrete. Thank you very much.